Hello and welcome back to our survival let's play on No Man's Land. We have only got a few things to do in this game day. We're not overly busy. And I've lost a tractor. Oh, there it is. The very first thing we're going to do though is we're going to hook this baler up and we're going to go straight to our grass fields. Well, I'll show you when we get over, but I cut and windrowed one of the fields. I don't think I did both, I think I only did one. And then I deleted the footage. Because what I was meant to do, this video was meant to start with a time lapse of us doing this. Not the baling, of us cutting and windrowing, so we could get straight into the baling. However, I was going through all my... I'll just run over here. I was going through, just trying to make space basically, on the PlayStation. And I've accidentally deleted that footage, so you'll just have to take my word for it. So that's ready to do as well, so we will do that one. I didn't think I'd cut that one. The reason I've had to go and look is because I've been on Carmson for the last few days, so I've not actually come on to No Man's Land. Right, so we switch baler on. This is the first time I've used this. I'll put a hot mic drop on. Open cover. What's open cover? Close cover. Open cover. It's just opening that door. I don't know what that is. Right, now we'll get that off. Let's get going. Like I said, first time we used it, but I know on the last episode we just bought it. I don't even think I brought it down. So I am going to have to stop. But it looks like it won't be for long. Angry effect, yeah, that's loads quicker. And because it's wrapping at the same time as well, that gives us sort of another stage that we don't need. So I'm more than happy with that. Was this not down though as doing square bales? I could have sworn we were going to square bales. Not that it really matters, like. It's filling up really quickly, isn't it? I'm sure the bales were only 3,500 last time as well. There's been, from the last two videos, I think, there was quite a lot of discussion around how we make our silage. So, off the top of my head, Mike was definitely one, Mike Nichols. I think Gary Hayes might be another. I think Feldham already, or commented on it as well. Oh, it's gone down to 6 now. About maybe switching to loading wagons and tramps. That's something where, when we first started on No Man's Land, that's exactly how I sort of envisaged it myself. Oh, that's going to do my head in. However, just because of the price of the load wagons and the power required as well, we didn't do that. The clamps are cheap enough. You can get them, the ones made out of tyres, are dirt cheap. And there's probably some cheaper mods now as well. However, we ended up going for a baler because there was that modded, the New Holland baler that we got, the modded one was only 30 grand. So that's why we ended up going for that. And we've sort of gone down the bale route since, even though we probably could, given the power that we've got in this Fiat, we probably could go to clamps. But the thing you have to think of now, or the thing that I'm sort of thinking of now, is I don't have a really big trailer to take all the silage up. Don't have a bucket to pick the silage up. Obviously we don't have the loading wagon. We'd have to buy the clamps. We'd have to make space for the clamps as well, which at the minute we just don't have. We have no space whatsoever. This space there that you can see just behind the trees, I've kind of got that earmarked for something else, which we can't actually afford at the minute, but I won't be using it unless we need to. So yeah, I mean, we might end up, this is going to be awkward, this bit. I'm just going to have to switch off. That's going to drop. Class. Let's drop that in the most awkward place. We might end up, as the series progresses, doing silage pits. However, for the time being, we'll be sticking with the bales, I think. I do enjoy doing bale work as well, to be fair. I can't believe I deleted this footage, and I don't understand why at the time, whenever I've cut this grass, which like I said was a few days ago, why I didn't do the other field. No idea. Right, what we'll do, I think, we'll get a time lapse on. Because the only things, once we've done this, we'll cut that other field and we need to weed the field what's sort of right behind us. I think it's got canola in it. Other from that, I think the only other jobs we've really got to do in this in-game day is things like sort of topping the water up in our productions. I don't think there's overly much else. This tractor does my head in. That might be something we have to work towards, replacing this tractor, just purely because of that gearbox glitch. Right, let's get a time lapse on. and right on cue our tractor goes back to limp mode, which is typical. Right, get that. I mean, we have a serious amount of bales there, don't we? I haven't got any. Have I got any left? I don't think I have. I was going to say I haven't got any of the old bales left to compare, but I'm sure the old bales were 3,500 as well. I mean, I could just go on here and have a look, couldn't I? Where's balers? Balers. So that's the one we were using. Yeah, 125 centimeters, same as what we're using now. I think if we didn't have the auto load trailer, if we were having to load them all individually, like I think, well, in fact, I don't think, like we were doing for the first however many episodes, I don't know, when we first started baling, we were having to put them individually onto a trailer, weren't we, using just the pallet forks. I think if maybe we were still doing that, we wouldn't have this baler. We'd have the one that made larger bales. A couple of bits I just want to pick up here. But because we don't have that, sorry, because we do have that, I don't mind having the smaller bales. I mean, the good thing about the bigger bales as well is you don't have to stop as much, do you? When they sort of churn them out. We'll have a look in a second, just see exactly how many bales we're getting off this field. I think the last time we did it, we got something like 93, didn't we? 93, 95, something like that, off the two fields. Right, just get this, miss that bit. Right, I'm not gonna go and get every single bit, but we got 53 off that one. I'm sure last time we got 42 off the one over here, which would leave us with 95. Let's go and remove that tree. Because we might actually cut this side this time. I mean, this is a space we could use for something else, isn't it? I wouldn't mind building on there, it's just what we could put on there. In fact, I have an idea of what we could put on there. That could be where our grain production comes in. Oh, flour, sorry. That's a possibility. Right, I'm gonna go and get hooked up with the mowers, and I'll bring the windrower over, and we'll get cracking on the other field. So, I started doing the cutting, and I just thought, we might as well finish it off camera. I think the first part of this video was already going to be sort of quite long anyway, so we did that. It didn't take overly long. You can see it's just before midday. The tractor does struggle a little bit over the other side of the field. You see there's a bit more of an incline. It's a bit more gentle this side, but a bit steeper that side. It does struggle there, even though we've got 180 horsepower, and we fixed the tractor not too long ago. Although it does go down quite quickly. I think just with both mowers on, front and back, that's where that's where it does sort of struggle. This bit is always really awkward, and I've just noticed we haven't cut that bit. I'm not doing it now. I'm not going back. The mowers are back away in the shed. Right, hopefully this shouldn't require as much power going up here. Let's just put it into, yeah, that's fine. I know on one of the I think it was two episodes ago, Mike actually commented, he was talking about the gear ratios. It was to do with this tractor, but I think it was just in general, and I sort of, when I replied, I sort of misread what he said. So when I said we sort of discussed that comment in a video a couple of weeks ago, I think we did, but only to like, not to sort of the nth degree, if you know what I mean. The thing with I never use the manual gearbox to the point where, and I've never used it, I never used it in FS19 either, to the point where I don't even know on PS5 how you change gear. I wouldn't know if it was the sort of L and R buttons or what. I have absolutely no idea. I've only ever used automatic, and I use sort of cruise control quite a lot as well. You'll see that as soon as we turn the corners for something like this, I'll whack cruise control straight on. I do, however, realise that for certain jobs, and the cutting of the grass, so going up this bit here, that's where we really sort of lost power when we were cutting, when we were doing the lawn. It probably would have been better to be in manual, because you could have had a lower gear and probably kept the power up, so kept a bit more speed up, compared to maybe hitting that bank in fourth and then just losing all your power and going down to almost standing still sometimes. So yeah, it's something I've never used, and I don't know if it's maybe easier for people who's got setups with steering wheels and the side panel that you can buy. But for console, I've just always found it easier with automatic. The reason why I came up for this is obviously because of the issues we have with this tractor as well, where it gets stuck in at 6 miles an hour. There was a comment, I can't for the life of us remember who it was. Because it was over a week ago now. Who they were saying that they would unhook whatever you were pulling and then hook up again, and that would solve it. Or there was something else as well. It wasn't sticking it in reverse, because that's what we do, isn't it? We put it in reverse and that gets rid of it. I can't think what the other thing was. But apparently there's a few different machines that do it now, and we actually found one on that's on Mod Hub. It's one of the self-propelled sprayers. We used it on Carmston. That episode will have already been out as well by the time this one comes out, where it gets stuck at 4 miles an hour, and it seems if the tank's quite full, it'll only go 4 miles an hour, and that isn't when it's spraying, that is the whole time. So you're travelling to and from where you want to be working at 4 miles an hour. It's just ridiculous. We won't use that again, that mod, not unless it's gets fixed. Maybe if I see an update for it, we'll try it again, because it's quite cheap for a self-propelled. It's only something like 150 grand, which for a self-propelled is really, really cheap. But we can't be going at that speed. And yeah, there was a couple of others mentioned as well. I think there was a case, I don't know if it was a combine. There was definitely a case mentioned that does that. No, just on one of the things we were talking about in Campson recently is about keeping our machinery sort of in good condition, and I think it's something we're going to have to start doing more, because I try to keep our machinery, such as the tractors, the combine, I try to keep them sort of healthy. I normally neglect things like the windrows, the mowers, the cultivators, but then I seen on Campson, where we went to do the harvesting, that even though our harvester we repaired for 32 grand, by the way, that's how much it cost us to repair our harvester on there, because the header was in the red. It took 2 mile an hour off the speed of it, which I was really surprised with. So you can see, just by spending that extra bit of money, it's a lot more efficient, and I think that's something that we'll have to start making sure that we're doing. Because I mean, a survival let's play like this, it's all about being efficient. Because if we're not, we won't progress. Because we have too many barriers in the way for us not to progress. So yeah, we need to start fixing our kit, I think. I think if we go on, is it even on this one? Oh, let's just quickly have a look in there. What's that? 269 horsepower, 100. That would be nice, wouldn't it? 115 grand, but for 269 horsepower. How could I afford that? Even selling this tractor, I'd be lucky probably to get 20 grand. I probably would get 20 grand if I took it to the store. That would only take us up to 50. It's not even halfway there. And bales won't be ready for another few days now. By that time, that was at us 7.5, yeah. That won't be there anymore. I kind of want to stay away from second-hand tractors, especially tractors, because of the amount we use them and the amount it costs to repair them, but I mean, that just seems like an absolute bargain, doesn't it? Nearly done. I'm loving this windrow now as well. Not even just in general, but compared to the one we had, and how long it used to take us to do the windrow, and was unbelievable. So this one's more of it's a rake, isn't it, rather than a windrow as such, I believe. But I remember using a very similar one quite a lot in 19 as well. Just price for size, for horsepower. It always seemed to sort of come up trumps. we had that awkward bit, aren't we, here, where we're gonna miss tiny bits because of the shape of it, with it being a triangle. Still trying to think of ways I can get to 115 grand before that goes, and I just can't. I don't think we've got anywhere near the amount of product to sell that's going to get us even close to that. I mean, our big hits on here are our silage bales, aren't they? And we've just sold a load and used the profit to, what did we buy? The baler. I mean, if we hadn't bought the baler, we would have had the money for the tractor, but the baler was more important. And I think we've already seen, haven't we, the sort of worth in it, how quickly we did that other field compared to previous equipment. Not needing a wrapper, but a wrapper used to take, so you know, I'll just take it. I was going to leave it, I'll just take it over. The wrapping in itself was an absolute nightmare, wasn't it? It just took so long. So getting rid of that step is a massive positive. Once we get this, once we get the windrow off, we'll be able to see just where our tractor is with regards to repairs. Because I'm sure it was only maybe the last in-game day, or maybe the in-game day before that, we repaired it. It's all the way down, isn't it? We'll finish it today. And then maybe look at the next in-game day and go about getting it repaired. I don't think it's overly much, is it? Do we only pay 2,000 something? 2,300, something like that, to get it repaired again? Which isn't too bad, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't feel like we've had this tractor overly long. We've already got nearly 30 hours on it. Which I suppose just shows how much we rely on it. We'll have to get that done after as well. We need to get that weeding done. Make sure they don't go into the next stage. Canola's an easy crop to do the weeding in as well. I mean, that's rapidly going up, isn't it? Been already. I was saying that we had some in the bill, didn't we? But I think the bill was already about a third full. But even so, we're not getting very far, are we? A little bit too far there. So we've got, I'm sure it was 95, that's what we've got to beat. However, I think the fields were in the same state. They were fully fertilised. I imagine it's just going to be pretty much exactly the same. I love that shot. I think I used it as a thumbnail for a few videos back where we just done the cutting last time. Obviously the bale wrap was black, wasn't it? But I like seeing it just in sort of in every day as well, where you see the fresh bales out. See quite a lot around where I live, whether it be straw bales or silage bales. There's one of them close to where I live, which we never use. I suppose we use the extractor, where it's got one of them machines. They only ever seem to use it for straw, but it's just a static machine in the middle of a field where they take it all the straw to that sort of area, and then square bales are made from there. I've only ever seen that one. It's just in one place, one of the farms near where I live. I actually pass it nearly, well, every day I go into work I pass it. It looks massive as well. Looks like a massive bit of kit, but it's always out. It stays out during the winter and never gets put away. Right, I'll be interested to see how we do going up here. See, this is where, when we were talking about manual gearboxes, this is probably where we'll be a little bit better. To be honest, I didn't expect to go up there as quickly as what we are. Right, we did a lot of baling, sort of in the first part of the video, didn't we, on the other field, so I'm going to carry on doing this off camera. We'll come back towards the end, and then we're going to get into the weeding, I think, of this field. And then, like I said, the only thing we've got to do then is just daft little admin bits, like making sure the water's topped up in some of our productions, and maybe feeding the chickens, you know, sort of the stuff that we do. A lot of the time I do it off camera, especially the water, because it's such a trip. In fact, that's what we might do. We might have a look to see if we can get a standpoint up at where our productions are, then we don't have to do all the carting. We'll only have to do one lot to get the trailer up there. Right, so I'll come back when this is nearly done. We're on the final bit. I was going to say it has took quite a while, but I've been doing stuff in between. So I'm back down 6 mile an hour, Yana. Yeah, so the things I've been doing in between. I've been in yeah, we got it. I've been and filled the places what we needed for our productions with water. I don't know why I can't get my words out. I'm literally trying to concentrate on other I'm looking at other things around the map and then trying to talk at the same time. Yeah, so all our productions have been not filled, but the maple one has been filled, the tomatoes have been filled, the greenhouses. The production site, the one what does the drinks, I haven't filled that, and that would take ages to fill. We need to have a look to see, and I meant to do it as well before we even come back on, but I totally forgot to see if there's some sort of standpipe, or some other sort of placeable. That'll give us free water, because I've been up. We can have a look here. Right, so I've put 53,000 litres in. That won't take long to go down. Just with both of them drinks going, and they are still going at the minute. Yeah, that'll be at 0 very quickly. So we need something up there. I don't think I'm going to get enough for another bale, so I'll just leave that. We'll switch off. The other thing is as well, does it fold? Is there anything to fold? Don't think there is. The other thing, I don't know how many bales we got, because we've been off in between. There was a bit where I couldn't record. I could still play it, but I couldn't record. So all I did was I did all the topping up, and I've got stuff ready for the next episode as well. I'll leave that there for now. What do we need? Oh, I filled up as well, fuel wise. I think it was like £319, something like that. What do we need? What do we need? We need the weeder, don't we? Let's go and get the weeder. I've also put more of our equipment in here. It is a pain. I know Mike mentioned it, that he tried to use it and it was a bit of a pain. However, if you don't try to cram too much in, and also don't use tractors with the front loader on, it's not that bad. He says as he whacks into the door. Yeah, it's not overly bad. There's just certain things, like I tried to get our roller in too wide, couldn't get it in. Right, let's get that down. So yeah, it's just something we have to live with. Get down there. Are we weeding? Yeah, we are. Right, I don't know if I'll be able to count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not counting stay in a straight line anyway. Do you know what I'll do? I'll just I'll do it when we go to pick them up. Did we have 52 in this field? Was that right? I just have to see. See when we pick them up, see how many we get. But I think it'll be the same. I think it'll be around the sort of the 95 mark. However, I have just found, and I'm really sorry, I can't remember who it was who mentioned it. Someone mentioned the Hessian farm pack, and I was looking through and I was saying I couldn't find it. I've literally stumbled across it. I didn't realise it was where it is. It's in the animal section of Mod Hub. I had no idea. So I've literally just stumbled across it. There is massive potential in that farm pack. The 2 silos especially. So much so that I am really considering changing to get the fermenting silo and to get a loading wagon. Really am considering it, because that takes grass, hay, straw, chaff and turns it into silage. It seems a lot quicker In fact, it doesn't seem a lot quicker. It is a lot quicker. And I think all around cheaper. So I think that might be the way ahead. The reason I was on there is I was looking at different animal pastures. Just because that's something we're going to look at probably in the next couple of episodes or so. We're going to have quite a decent sized payout in the next episode. So yeah, we've been looking at sort of different animal pastures. And that's how I came across this Hessian packet, and I can't see a downside to it. If there is, please tell us. But as it stands, yeah, I can't see why we wouldn't do that. I know we're gonna take a hit initially on our baler. Am I stuck at 6 miles an hour again? Yes, I am. Yeah, we're going to take a hit on the baler, but I think overall it'll be more beneficial. The only issue is, and it's one that I've mentioned before, with only 180 horsepower available to us, we're hugely restricted on what forage wagons we can get. And I mean hugely as well. It's not like there's just a few that's off limits to us. The majority are going to be off limits, which is a shame. But then I don't think I can have both. I've been looking through tractors as well to see if we can get some tractors, and there is some sort of cheaper ones that take us just over 200 horsepower. So whether it's a case of buying the tractor first and then looking to change, I don't know. I filled the well, I didn't fill it, I nearly filled it, the chicken coop up as well while we were off camera. Just I didn't realise it had run out. I had absolutely no idea it had run out. This crop makes it so much easier, doesn't it, to do the weeding. If this was... is it barley and wheat that is really bad? Or is it oats? Might be both actually. One of them is pretty much impossible to see the weeds. I think as well, I know we've upgraded quite a lot of equipment in the last sort of few weeks. I think we're pretty much at the point where we're ready to buy more land. So that's something we need to be looking at as well. Like I said, we're going to have a decent payout in the next episode, and then in a couple of episodes time we're going to have all this silage to sell as well. So that might be something to look at. I mean, I don't know how long them trees will take to get up either. I know we've still got them 3 over there, but that's not going to get us overly much. Okie doke. Right. What I'm going to do, because I think this episode's already going to be well over 40 minutes, I would have thought. I think we've set things up sort of quite nicely for the next episode, which I'm pretty much going to start recording as soon as we're finished, to be honest, because I'm looking forward to getting into it. We'll find out probably next episode when we pick all these up just how many bills we created, and then we might even get to sell some of our maple syrup. Let's have a look. I can't remember when the best sell price was. There it is, 1,200. Nah, so getting February, March, so we're not there yet. I mean, we could still sell it, to be fair. We'd still make a decent amount of money on it. It's just a couple of £100 lower than what we will be able to get for it. And while it's storing, I mean, it's not going to be storing for much longer, is it? But while it is, we might as well just leave it running there. But this is where we're going to finish it. I'm going to finish this off off camera, and then we'll progress into the next episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.